The deported veteran. The announcement crackled through the speakers at Gate 17 of Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. Now boarding Flight 8922 Los Angeles. First-class passengers, please proceed to the gate. Marcus Webb, 68 years old, stood slowly from his seat. His knees protested, a reminder of the shrapnel still lodged in his left leg from the Tet Offensive in 1968. He wore simple clothes, faded jeans, a plain blue polo shirt, and a worn Vietnam veteran's cap that had seen better days. He clutched his boarding pass. Seat 2A. First class. It was a gift from his daughter, Sarah. She'd scraped together money for months to give her father one nice trip. "You deserve it, Dad," she'd said. "After everything you've been through." Marcus didn't feel like he deserved anything. He was just a man who'd done his duty 50 years ago and had been trying to survive ever since. He shuffled down the jetway, his cane tapping a steady rhythm against the floor. Inside the aircraft, the first-class cabin was luxurious. Wide leather seats, warm lighting, the smell of fresh coffee. Marcus found his seat by the window and eased himself down, wincing as his bad leg bent. Across the aisle, in seat 2C, sat a young man who looked like he'd stepped out of a magazine. Tyler Russo, 22 years old, was an influencer. 3 million followers on Instagram, 2 million on TikTok. He wore designer ripped jeans, a Supreme hoodie, and shoes that cost more than Marcus's monthly disability check. Tyler was filming himself. "What's up, squad? Tyler here, flying first class to LA for the Influencer Awards. And let me tell you, the vibes are immaculate." He panned the camera across the cabin, catching Marcus in the frame. Tyler's nose wrinkled. He zoomed in on the old man's faded cap, his worn clothes, his cane. "Okay, pause," Tyler said to the camera, lowering his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. "Can someone explain to me why there's literally a homeless dude in first class right now? Like, sir, this isn't a Greyhound bus. The economy is that way." He pointed toward the back of the plane, laughing. Marcus heard every word. He'd spent 50 years hearing words like that. He didn't respond. He just looked out the window. Tyler kept filming. "I swear, airlines these days just let anyone up here. Probably some charity case or military discount thing. Like, I get it, thank you for your service and whatever, but can we not mix the classes? I paid $1,200 for this seat." A flight attendant, a young woman named Jessica, approached with a tray of champagne. "Champagne, sir," she offered to Tyler. "Absolutely." Tyler took a glass, then nodded toward Marcus. "Does he get champagne? Or is that, like, against the rules?" Jessica's smile tightened. "Sir, all first-class passengers receive the same service." "Yeah, but does he even know what champagne is?" Tyler laughed, filming her reaction. Jessica didn't respond. She moved to Marcus. "Champagne, sir." "No thank you, ma'am," Marcus said quietly. "Just water, please." Tyler smirked at the camera. Water. Classic. The plane took off smoothly. Tyler continued filming, talking about his upcoming award show, his brand deals, his new Tesla. Marcus closed his eyes, trying to ignore the noise. An hour into the flight, the turbulence started. It was mild at first. A few bumps. The seatbelt sign dinged on. Then it got worse. The plane dropped suddenly like an elevator with a cut cable. Overhead bins flew open. Bags tumbled into the aisle. Passengers screamed. Tyler's phone flew out of his hand, smashing against the seat in front of him. The screen shattered. "No, no, no, no," Tyler shouted, scrambling to pick up the pieces. The captain's voice came over the intercom, strained and urgent. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing severe turbulence. We're diverting to the nearest airport. Everyone remain seated and keep your seatbelts fastened." The plane shook violently. Oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling, and then, from the back of the cabin, a scream. "Someone help. My dad. He's not breathing." Tyler's head snapped up. His face went white. That voice. He knew that voice. It was his mother. Tyler unbuckled, stumbling into the aisle despite the turbulence. He ran toward the back, gripping seatbacks to keep from falling. In the last row of first class, Tyler's father, Richard Russo, was slumped over, his face blue, his chest still. Tyler's mother, Elena, was sobbing, shaking her husband's shoulders. "Richard, wake up, please." "Dad!" Tyler dropped to his knees. "Dad!" "No." A flight attendant rushed over. "Sir, please return to your seat." "That's my father. He's not breathing." The flight attendant pressed the call button. "We need medical assistance. Passenger in cardiac arrest." The announcement echoed through the cabin. "Is there a doctor on board?" "We have a medical emergency." Silence. No one responded. Tyler looked around frantically. "Someone. Anyone. Please." And then a calm voice from the front of the cabin. "I can help." Tyler turned. It was the old man. Marcus Webb. The homeless-looking guy Tyler had mocked on camera. Marcus was standing, gripping his cane, moving slowly down the aisle. "You." Tyler's voice was desperate, disbelieving. "You're a doctor." "No," Marcus said. "I'm a combat medic. Vietnam. If you want your father to live, get out of my way." Tyler stumbled back. Marcus knelt beside Richard, his old knees cracking. He placed 2 fingers on Richard's neck, checking for a pulse. No pulse. "He's in cardiac arrest." Marcus looked at the flight attendant. "Do you have an AED on board?" "Yes, sir." "Get it, now." Jessica ran to the front galley, returning seconds later with the automated external defibrillator. Marcus ripped open Richard's shirt, exposing his chest. He placed the AED pads exactly where they needed to be, his hands steady despite the turbulence. The AED's robotic voice filled the cabin, analyzing heart rhythm. "Do not touch the patient." Everyone held their breath. "Shock advised. Stand clear." Marcus pressed the button. Richard's body convulsed. "Nothing. Continue CPR," the AED instructed. Marcus interlaced his fingers, positioned his hands over Richard's sternum, and began compressions. Hard. Fast. 30 compressions. 2 breaths. Tyler watched, tears streaming down his face. Please don't let him die." Marcus didn't respond. He was focused, counting, compressing. The AED analyzed again. "Shock advised." Marcus pressed the button. Richard's body jerked. And then, a gasp. Richard's eyes flew open. He coughed, sucking in air. "Dad!" Tyler collapsed beside him, sobbing. Marcus sat back, breathing hard, sweat dripping down his face. Elena grabbed Marcus's hand. "Thank you." "Oh my God, thank you." Marcus nodded, too exhausted to speak. The plane landed 10 minutes later at a small regional airport. Paramedics rushed on board, loading Richard onto a stretcher. Tyler stood in the aisle, watching his father being carried away. Then he turned to Marcus. The old man was back in his seat, staring out the window. Tyler walked over slowly. His voice was small. "Sir, I need to say something." Marcus looked up. "I'm sorry." Tyler's voice cracked. "I said terrible things about you. I filmed you. I mocked you. And then you saved my dad's life." Marcus was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. "You know what I learned in Vietnam, son? I learned that everyone bleeds the same. Rich, poor, black, white. Doesn't matter. When the bullets start flying, we're all just people trying to survive." Tyler's face crumpled. "I don't deserve your forgiveness." "No," Marcus agreed. "You don't. But I'm giving it to you anyway. Because that's what we do. We help people, even when they don't deserve it." Tyler sat down in the aisle, his head in his hands. Marcus reached over, placing a hand on the young man's shoulder. "Your father's going to be okay. Go be with him." Tyler nodded, standing slowly. He looked at Marcus one more time. "I'm going to do better. I promise." "Good," Marcus said. "The world needs more good people." 3 months later, Tyler Russo posted a video that would change everything. It wasn't his usual content. No flashy editing. No upbeat music. Just Tyler, sitting in front of a camera, looking directly at his audience. "I need to tell you something," Tyler began. 3 months ago, I was on a plane, and I was the worst version of myself." He showed the footage, the video he'd filmed on the plane, mocking Marcus. His followers watched, shocked. "This man," Tyler said, zooming in on Marcus's face, There's Marcus Webb. He's a Vietnam War veteran, a Purple Heart recipient, the combat medic who saved dozens of lives in the jungle. Tyler's voice broke. And I called him homeless. I mocked him. I treated him like he was less than human. The video cut to the hospital. Tyler's father, Richard, sitting up in bed, fully recovered. "This is my dad," Tyler said. "He's alive because Marcus Webb saved him. The man I mocked. The man I judged. He's the reason my father is still here." Tyler looked directly at the camera. "I'm done with the influencer life. I'm done caring about likes and followers and brand deals. I'm starting something new." The screen changed to show a website. The Marcus Webb Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to helping homeless veterans get housing, healthcare, and job training. "Every dollar I make from this video goes to veterans," Tyler said. "And I'm challenging every influencer watching this. Stop caring about clout. Start caring about people." The video went viral. 20 million views in the first week, 50 million by the end of the month. Donations poured in. $500,000, then $1 million, then $5 million. Tyler didn't keep a cent. 6 months later, Marcus Webb stood on a stage in Los Angeles. He was wearing a suit for the first time in 20 years. His daughter, Sarah, stood beside him, tears in her eyes. Tyler was there too, in the front row, applauding. The host handed Marcus a microphone. "Mr. Webb, the Marcus Webb Foundation has now housed over 200 homeless veterans. How does that feel?" Marcus looked out at the audience. He saw faces of all ages, all backgrounds, people who'd been moved by his story. "I didn't do this for recognition," Marcus said. "I did it because it was right. And I want to say something to Tyler Russo." Tyler stood, his face uncertain. "Thank you," Marcus said. "Not for the foundation, not for the money. Thank you for learning. Thank you for changing. That takes more courage than anything I did in Vietnam." The room erupted in applause. Tyler walked onto the stage. Marcus extended his hand. Tyler didn't take it. He hugged him instead. And in that moment, Marcus Webb, the man who'd been judged, mocked, and dismissed, became a hero all over again. Not because he saved a life on a plane, but because he showed a lost young man what it means to be human. The lessons came fast and hard for everyone involved. For Tyler, the fall from grace was public and brutal. His sponsors dropped him within days of the original mocking video leaking. Supreme Mikey, even his energy drink deal, all gone. But Tyler didn't fight it. He accepted the consequences. He sold his Tesla, his designer clothes, his expensive apartment. He moved back in with his parents. And every morning, he volunteered at the Veterans Shelter the foundation had opened in downtown LA. For Marcus, life changed in ways he never expected. The foundation brought him back into the world. He started speaking at schools, telling his story, not about the war, but about compassion. Judge people by their character, he'd tell students, not by their clothes or their age or where they sit on a plane. For Richard Russo, Tyler's father, the heart attack was a wake-up call. He'd spent his life chasing money, ignoring his family. Now he worked part-time and spent the rest of his days with his wife and son. And for the flight attendants, Jessica in particular, the incident changed how they viewed passengers. Jessica started a training program for airline staff about unconscious bias and treating every passenger with dignity. But the real victory belonged to the 200 veterans who now had homes because of what happened on that plane. Men and women who'd served their country and been forgotten, who'd slept on streets, battled addiction, fought demons no one could see. They had roofs over their heads now. They had hope. And it all started because one old man refused to hate the young man who mocked him. 1 year after the flight, Tyler and Marcus met for coffee. They met every week now. It had become a tradition. "I got accepted to nursing school," Tyler said, sliding a letter across the table. Marcus read it, the smile spreading across his weathered face. "Nursing school. That's a hard road, son." "I know," Tyler said, "but I want to help people, like you did." "You already are," Marcus said. Tyler shook his head. "I'm just trying to make up for being a terrible person." "No," Marcus corrected. "You were a terrible person." Past tense. Now you're a good one. There's a difference. Tyler looked at the old man, this stranger who'd become a father figure, and felt something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. Thank you, Tyler said, for not giving up on me. Marcus reached across the table, gripping Tyler's hand. We don't give up on people, son. That's not what we do. They sat there for a while, two men from different generations, different worlds, connected by one moment of crisis and one choice to be better. Outside, the California sun shone bright. Veterans walked the streets, no longer homeless. A young man was heading to nursing school. An old man was finally at peace. And somewhere, on a plane flying across the country, a passenger was being kind to a stranger, because kindness, like cruelty, spreads. And the world had decided it wanted more kindness. All because an old veteran in a faded cap refused to let hate win.